Welcome everyone to today's Platinum Coaching webinar, The Magic of Price Elasticity. My name is Todd Walton. I'm working on our business. Not necessarily in it all the time. We've got to work on it. And today, in my opinion, is probably the single greatest thing that you can work on in your business. Once you get your lead generation systems up and running the way that you want them, and you're generating dozens to hundreds, and for some of us in Platinum, even 1,000 plus prospects every month, we can say that, you know what, we've got realizing all of these opportunities as we should be, then we just begin to build our business singularly. Now what I mean by that is that we're only growing it once. This webinar, we're going to discuss how you can literally increase your profitability overnight. And it's what every Platinum member must be doing to ensure growth in their business. This is coming directly from Craig Proctor and me. So on today's Platinum Coaching webinar, we are going to, when you have your notepad handy, and pay very close attention because we're going to move through this pretty swift today. But this is probably a day's worth of information that's going to be that you're going to get here within the next hour. Everything having to do with how you can grow your business without adding any additional expense, okay? And, you know, this is going to be a pay raise for you, right out of the chute, of much of the information we're going to be talking about. Your business will become more valuable, and that is a very key factor here. A lot of us in Platinum, we want to grow our businesses, we want to have sellable businesses. Lead generation that centers around you making the calls and having to convert prospects to appointments, and it doesn't work all that well without you, is not a very good sellable business. Now, it's something that must take place, but that's not going to leave you with the systems necessary to leverage, to have somebody within your organization. It'll also make it way more fun. And to me, this is the fun part of the business right here. Growing your business by more transactions or more leads and more prospect opportunities. You know what? And you'll find out over 20 years of me doing it, it just became monotonous. It was like a grind. It was the same stuff every day, generating leads, conversion of leads. But what really made the business more fun, and where I made the most amount of money, strategies for increasing the amount of money that you make per transaction. We're going to get into them in detail. Okay? Now, there are only 3 ways to grow your business. Okay? That's it. And that is by increasing the number of sales, and that's what we just talked about that in terms of growing your business singularly, okay, only working on one thing, more transactions, and charging your price, okay? But the other 2 ways are increase the size of sale and from you. Okay, now, when we talk about increasing the size of sale, a lot of real estate professionals, especially Platinum members, of sales price because you get paid on percentages. Okay, well, what happens if the sales price can't be raised because there's no demand for that higher priced property? Okay, well then you're left with having to increase your size of sale. In other words, how much money you make per transaction. Okay, right? Everybody gets that. So this is all about this whole concept and principle of price elasticity. Now, it's not my invention. It's not Craig Proctor's invention. We admit that. But it is, in fact, business textbook stuff, right out of business school. Now, although the professionals over at Harvard Business School, they don't really have any earthly idea how we apply this idea so many ways to make so much money, is really of different customers' price tolerance and just raising prices. It is about many strategies for more effectively structuring and presenting price options, tiered pricing, financing, even value propositions. And if you can get really good at understanding this whole concept of price elasticity, it will absolutely fundamentally change your business and ensure profitability. You could sell less homes, work less, and still make more money. Okay, and this is very important, I think, from all of us. You'll be able to, in essence, okay, put supply and demand in your favor, create a greater perception of value will be different. Okay, so I hope I'm making good sense to you as I explain this this whole principle of price elasticity. Okay, now most of your prospects want value, no question about that. All of your prospects want a good experience. So let's talk about Six Flags and Disney World to kind of put this into perspective. Six Flags has more stuff. And when I talk about stuff, I mean roller coasters. Okay, if I want to go to Six Flags today, I can over them are really good. But if I go to Disney World today, and I've probably been to Disney World and Six Flags about the same number of times, and that's a bunch. Disney World today, how many roller coasters do they have? So let's look at it like this. You walk into Six Flags, you ride 12 roller coasters, you still buy a hot dog, and you walk out with a souvenir hat. Okay, now which one had more value? Six Flags was about a third the price of Disney World. So again, which one had more value? Okay, then why is Disney World, how are they able to get 2/3 more money than what Six Flags gets? And I can just tell you, it's just all in the perception or what we call the experience left at the end of the day. What you talk about around the coffee table. That's it right there. What you discuss at the end of the day around your coffee table. Disney World, Walt Disney has done a great job of selling exclusivity and of selling value, even though when you really look at it, it's like, man, that's a lot of freaking. Get in for a family one-day pass in the Hollywood Studios, used to be MGM, down in Orlando, Walt Disney World, Florida. We walked in, we went straight back to the Tower of Terror. We rode it, got off, went to Rock and Roller Coaster, rode it, got off, went back to Tower of Terror, rode it, got off, went back to Rock and Roller Coaster, rode each one of them 3 times to the point where I'm like, I don't want to freaking ride it anymore. The kids rode it 2 or 3 more other times, and we left. We didn't do anything else but just those 2 rides. And at the end of the day, I'm like, you know, honey, we could have paid like 2/3 less money, went to Six Flags, rode a bunch of different roller coasters, and it would have just been way easier. Smart pricing. Very important that as you set everything up in your business to charge money for what it is that you do, value is and you've got to be able to really create value almost out of thin air. Like here's a good example of creating value out of thin air, and then we'll get into some more of these. And I'm going to share some of these personal stories as we move along with this because I think they're very valuable to you. You guys have heard the story about the everyday open house, okay, right? And the story goes like this. A seller calls me up one day, this is years ago, and says, hey, Todd, you know, we're thinking about canceling our listing with you and listing with this other agent at least every other Sunday. So I'm thinking, you know, as I'm listening to this, you know, what is it that this customer really wants? Whereas most real estate agents will be thinking like, you know, how am I going to defend this? Because I don't want to do an open house every Sunday. All right? So my first response was to the seller was like, well, first of all, why would you consider an open house every other Sunday important? Why is that a big deal to you right now based on what you're telling me? Well, you know, I just want to get my home sold. And that's confirmed exactly what I was already thinking. So, in other words, if you had an offer today on your house, all right, well, another question is, why would you go from advertising your home every other week, okay, or let me back up. Why would you go from advertising your home every day as being open to only being open every other week or twice a month? Yeah, that sounds better, but what do you mean? Well, we're advertising your property as being open every day. As a matter of fact, do you have your MLS, do you have your package that we sent you when we put your home on the market? Okay, well, pull that out real fast. Look right there where it says what the hours of operation are for your home. Yeah, it's open every day, 7 days a week, from 9 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. We just have it set up that people actually have to open house. For some of you who are giggling right now, all I did was create value where it already was. Now, it doesn't doing was either more or less valuable. That's kind of irrelevant. But what does matter is that I was able to create something of value for the seller and us get on the same page of what really was important to him, which was selling his house. Okay? Now, some of you are saying, yeah, but Todd, the other agent was probably going to put it on the market and have a lockbox on it and have it open between 9 and 8 every day too, right? And the answer is, I don't know. Why would you make that assumption when it comes to business and income? You do not make assumptions. You deal in what you know. And all assumptions may be true, may not be true. Okay? Probably is. But again, what does the seller really want? His freaking house sold. All right? So now I've got his attention. He understands that it could very well be a step backwards, end up with a price change, and the rest is history. Okay? All right, now let's talk about slack adjusters. Now, some of you guys may not know what a slack adjuster is, but that's basically a slang term used from the used car business. All right, let me give you an example of slack adjustment in the used car business. My brother-in-law, who did run a Saturn dealership here in town, I knew what their profit margin was for new cars, and it wasn't all that great. Okay, but when you factor in the financing aspect of it, where they would finance the cars themselves, okay, that would be considered a slack adjuster. In other words, profit margin real small on the front end sale, but make a lot of money on the financing, okay, even more money on their side business, which was the used car business. They made more money selling used cars than they did the new cars on the front end sale. Okay, so the financing and the used car business was a slack adjuster for that dealership. It makes perfect sense, right? So just because your business routinely sells your services at a specific price does not mean that you can't successfully sell very, very, very high priced services. In fact, I'm going to recommend that you should. So let's take a look at some services. You and I both, and most Platinum members are guilty of this, when you go to fly to Los Angeles, okay, in May for the Platinum 2-day conference going on, okay, many of you are going to get offered an opportunity to fly, instead of coach, fly first class. And you're going to pay a lot more money for just a slightly bigger seat. It's a long flight. It's Los Angeles. You know, if I'm coming from Atlanta, I'm obviously looking for the extra 4 inches, you know, in the seat, or 6 inches, or whatever it is. So I have a little more room. Okay, that's it. Okay, now don't think that that's the reason the airlines keep those tickets in there. It's a slack adjuster. So some examples of some slack adjusters for your business would be like a limousine service for buyers. How many of your buyers do you think, if offered the opportunity to look at properties in a limousine, would be interested in that? Now, they pay for it, right? Whatever your pricing is now, you could say, or you could take advantage of this offer, which is a lot more money, but you know what? I'm like, let's see, I can drive. You know what? That's a pretty good idea. Okay? Some other examples, home staging for sellers. Okay? Many of you real estate agents may give this service away for free. I think that's a mistake. Okay? These are very valuable things that make a difference in prospects that they're willing to pay for. Helicopter service for buyers. There are real estate agents in the country that will absolutely allow buyers to pay more money, very, 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 very high-priced amounts of money for the helicopter service to go from property to property, or take a tour of the city, or look at their property from the sky. Okay? Decorating services for sellers, example. So you want to think in terms of extreme luxury services for much, much more money, extreme prices. Those are really great examples of what we call slack adjusters in your business. And it's no big deal to line up this service, okay, in your business. As a matter of fact, who was it? There was a guy named Marshall Redder. Okay, him and Craig, way back in the early 90s, used to know each other, and that's actually how I have one available that he bought, and his buyers would pay, some of the buyers would pay, real estate investors would fly in, pay for him to buyers and other things. So you get the picture. All right, well, let's talk about the next strategy then, called Ascension. Okay, now Ascension basically is just a ladder, okay, for customers, and to be able to upsell them or convert them to members. Okay, so a good example there would be what we do with Craig Proctor Coaching, right? It's an Ascension program. You have the Quantum Leap system that you can buy, a one-time fee for whatever it is, $1,000. I don't know what the Quantum Leap system costs. You have the Super Conference, okay, for a little bit more investment. You have the coaching program, which is for, to help generation and the basic systems of the Quantum Leap, so they can continue on in mastery, okay? And then we have Platinum, which is our upper level of an Ascension program, and that's what it's set up very nicely, so everybody gets that. So like this, you can create your own Ascension Club. For example, $29.95 a month for access for buyers to relevant information that you have. So we've talked about expired listings, cancellations, our REO accounts, sellers that we get referred over to us from HBN. This is all proprietary information that if you're a buyer you don't have access to. And you betcha with a good marketing program you can have buyers that will opt in and pay you for that information on a monthly basis, and pays you sick to pay for the $29.95 anymore, but they get all the other goodies that you have to offer. Pretty simple example there. So most real estate agents here in just a little bit as we get into specific details, but I want to explain all of these various strategies to you first. Okay, the 20% factor is pretty easy to understand. Like the least scariest way to raise prices is like creating an optional or premium version of whatever it is that you're doing right now. Okay, it's just offer it at a higher price, and then they have a choice. It makes perfect sense. Okay, the sin is in owning a business and not offering some sort of additional option or premium version of what you have right now. It's easy to do. We're going to look at some more examples of that in a minute. Okay, so let's talk about upsells. Now, upsells I think everybody's familiar with. Okay, but let's look at it in terms of real-world opportunities. Okay, something maybe we're familiar with. Okay, the rule is really for every purchase made in any way, there should be an immediate upsell offered. Okay, like at the movie theater. Okay, you go to the counter. It's get a giant tub of popcorn instead of a medium. Would you like a box of candy or a drink with that? So it translates everywhere. We're all victims, and some of us are proponents of it. But like I like to go to on special occasion, the servers almost always present a featured steak of the evening. It's called the steak of the evening or whatever. And then they explain how you can turf meal, add this fried lobster tail to it, or 3 jumbo shrimp or 3 jumbo shrimp scallops. You can replace the regular Yukon Gold mashed potatoes with the lobster mashed potatoes, each for a slight upcharge, of course. It's their elegant version of do you want to supersize that? That's really what it comes down to. Okay, so most of us don't have anything like that in place, but if you did, it would be obvious examples of being able to make more money. Okay, and again, the 20% factor holds. So you could do something from the simple, like, hey, would you like a web commercial for your home to go along with your listing? That's $195 to produce that and get it up and running. Okay, to the more complex option of levels. Okay, gold, diamond, and platinum, for example, levels. Your entry-level gold, your middle-level diamond, and your upper-level options of platinum. And we'll take a look at what some of those options can look like here in just a moment. Another one that I really like is really just taking a step back and being able to charge for things that you probably should be charging for, or things that you previously were giving away for free. Okay, for like a lot of business owners, and sort of creates a de facto price increase. Okay, so here's a good example. Here's a good example right here. Let me share this one with you. I wrote this one down. 2 professionals. This don't really matter, but let's suppose they're real estate agents, okay? They compete for the very same prospect in the same town using the same media marketing channels and the same MLS system, okay? They are both 100% commission compensated for all the work that they do, okay, once they get a client. And let's say the average client is worth $2,000 in commissions, okay? Each of these professionals, they have office overhead, servicing costs, they have kids, pets that they have to feed, a house that has to be paid for, and each one of them are pretty smart at what they do, so they're each willing to spend, say, $1,000 or no more than half of the income in cost of getting the new clients. So a new client worth $2,000, they're willing to spend up to $1,000. All right, and there's no reason for you to scoff at that, because many of you watching the webinar will do that. If there's a profit to be made, then 100% profit is pretty strong. Okay, and of course you're spending money on advertising, mailings, your direct mail stuff, webinars that you're doing online, maybe face-to-face meetings, gas, whatever it is. All of these things add up to a certain amount of money. So you're willing to spend up to 50%. Okay, now one of these professionals changes his game and begins charging new clients a $395 activation or membership fee. All right, so $395 up front. The other person doesn't do that. This guy does it. All right, so everybody understands that, right? Now what happens? The person who's charging, the agent who's charging the $395 upfront fee, what do you want more to get each client? And that's the idea here, is that you want to put yourself in a position to outspend your competition, right? People cannot compete with you if you can outspend them. Now, we're not talking about spending money you don't have. We're talking about being in a position that you can, there's now expenses to get that deal, right? 50% profit, that's huge. Now you charge a $395 up front. You just increase your spending power by 4, the example that we're using right now. It's invisible. It's invisible until the moment of decision for the client to be for the customer, be a client or not to be a client. Okay? All right, and of course presenting fees is just a matter of perception of value. That's right. Cost is only a factor in the absence of value. So let's look at some other examples of charging for what was free. Okay, like a CMA. You guys are all familiar with that. Okay, but an appraiser gets like $400 for an appraisal. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. I sell what I do. All right, but yet, why am I willing to give away that sort of information for nothing? All right, here's another one, a net sheet. We all seem to do a bunch of net sheets, but would you like a general range of your expenses, or would you like a very specific breakdown and settlement charges on a HUD? The same settlement statement that you would be getting at closing. Other real estate agents do net sheets. We provide you with a HUD statement. Like that's what the banks want. Okay, so yeah, obviously you can increase fee or charge for these things. Your home hunter service becomes a via to getting your home sold faster and for more money. All right, so those are just some good examples. All right, let's look at price increases though. We'll call this the easy way of doing it. You can simply walk into your office today and increase your commission by 1%, of course. But increasing your commission, absolutely. Like why 1%? For example, on the next page here, I got this nice testimonial here from Paul Bruno, and the average commission in his marketplace is around 6. Okay, and just about every platinum member goes through this transition right here, real quick, as they become members, where they raise their prices. It's easy to do, and that's what I mean. So Paul goes in, takes his first 7% listing, and he gets $495 transaction fee up front. Okay, and it's like, wow, that was really easy. And the answer is yeah, because you're already providing more value than most of the other agents around you. Okay? But again, why 1%? Your job now is to keep increasing and increasing and increasing your prices, and the market will tell you the elasticity of what your customer thinks about what you charge. And my point, and Craig Proctor's point is that why would we leave it up to our own biases to decide what that is, or our guilty feelings that we're getting too much money for our service? Now I want to talk to you guys about that real fast. That is a wealth attraction issue for you. If you feel guilty about making money or charging more than your competition, then you have a problem, a real problem. And you're going to have some barriers to the amount of money that you can make for your business. And I've got to tell you that making money for your business is a good endeavor. So to feel guilty about it in any way is to lean towards the side of it, hey, maybe this is wrong. Better to have a business like Ted Turner where you can give so much of your freaking money away. Okay, you're trying to figure out ways to give it away, like you give it to the United Nations, $3 billion. Okay, so who's better? The guy with the little small business that says, I feel guilty about charging extra money over here because it's more money than everybody else is charging, or to be like Ted Turner in a position to give $3 billion away to the United Nations, for goodness sake. Okay, yes, it'd be much better to be in a position to have a business that can really participate in philanthropy. It's what you do with the money after you earn it, not what you do earning it. The marketplace will tell you if what you're doing is good or not. Okay? So I'm wagering that most of you Platinum members are undercharging for your services. Even Paul Bruno, okay, newer Platinum member, fantastic guy. I've enjoyed talking to him and exchanging emails back and forth. But he made a shot at 7%. Wow, that was really easy. I'm just saying that I would let the marketplace dictate what you can charge for your services based on the value that you provide. All of you guys are very good at what you do. You're the best real estate agents in the country. Top 1%. Everybody in this program. Nobody in Platinum is less than the top 1% of real estate agents. So you all fall into that category. Everybody. All right? Everybody's at, nobody's really at the same specific income level. The offers want to test that aspect of elasticity and work in 0.25% increments, not even numbers like that. Okay, same thing for transaction fees. Okay, $495, sure. How about $495 for every $100,000 in sales price as a transaction fee? Okay, now again, some of you will squirm in your seat right now, and you're having a difficult time. Now, some of it's an instant pay raise, you know what I mean? So it's a different paradigm. That's all it is. All right, so just because you feel that way does not make customers will tell you exactly what your fees can be. And then there's a point of diminishing return as well. But the object is, and you will, okay, even if it's just to go out and buy a bigger house, okay, you can look at it from a material aspect. Okay, I'm going to go out and squander my money. That money's still going to benefit people. When the money flies out of your hand and into other people's, there are benefits, okay, for the economy. So don't downplay. And a lot of real estate agents never even thought about it. But you want to definitely establish what your minimum fee is. Okay, don't get paid a set commission regardless of price. For example, a $75,000 listing, which is not uncommon in today's marketplace in the United States and most cities because of the foreclosures going on out there. Okay, well, if I'm going to put a $75,000 home on the market, I'm going to get paid just like it was $175,000. Okay, so a good example is our fee is 7% of the purchase price, but no less than 10 grand. Okay, so establish a minimum fee. Financing options. Take back a promissory note for all or to a portion of your fee with interest when the client can't pay you. All right, maybe let's run into customers and clients that need to sell their home, but they don't have the money to pay you. Okay, well, can you pay me every month? Pay me this much now, and I'll collect the rest of it over the next 12 months. Okay, yep, that's 10%. Like I'm not your bank. All right, so you don't have to be that impolite or crass about it, but you can definitely sell them on, yeah, well, you don't have to pay us. You can pay us every month. It's only 10% interest. 10% on that $10,000, it's only X number of dollars more. All right, so instead of 10, you get 11. Would you guys do that? It's either that or walk away, or inflate the price unnecessarily, and then it doesn't sell. But you've got to make it. You've got to make sure that you collect. Okay, I'm real big on that. A promise is a promise. Okay, when I promise to provide you with extra value and services, and I provide those, and you promise to pay me, you're going to pay me. Yeah, a promise is a promise. Very important. Okay, so let's get into some more specific examples of all this. This is fun. I love this. And then we're going to get into taking some of your questions. As a matter of fact, If you have a question while you're watching this information on anything that we've talked about here, because the examples that we're going to get into right now, some questions for you. On your GoToWebinar panel, right there on your desk, on your computer, you can see right there where you can type in a question. Just go ahead and type that question in. It should be right up there somewhere. Type that question in and submit it, and I'll get the question, and we'll repeat them and try to get those answered for you, okay? All right, so let's look at what we were just talking about a little bit ago on maybe some options for upselling, offering premiums, bonuses, incentives for upselling your sellers. This is on the Platinum Coaching website. We've talked about this at probably 2 or 3 conferences over the last few years. I call it the VIP seller options for listing. Option number 1, receive everything presented to you in our seller benefits presentation. We're going to put your home on the market, and it's going to cost you 7% plus $695 transaction and processing fee, all of it due at closing. Okay? Everybody understands that scenario. Or you can become a VIP seller and receive everything presented to you in our seller benefits presentation, as well as this, and this, okay? And it's an additional $495 to get all of that, and we collect that right now. Okay, so I've got my commission, I got the back-end transaction fee, and I got $495 on the front end. And I just added extra value, $1,000 off commission coupon on your next home sale or purchase, whenever that is. A video commercial of your home, put it on our everyday open house. Okay, our bid, feedback website, so you can log in and see what everybody's saying about your home. Okay, so the video commercial alone and the commission coupon all far exceed the amount of money they're paying. And that's a big key component here. The value that they're giving me, okay, is one thing. The value I'm giving them is another. Okay, the value I'm providing them should exceed the amount should exceed the value they're giving me. Right? So I think it does that. And it's proven to do so. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about this. Okay, option number 3. Become a Platinum VIP seller and receive everything presented to you in our seller benefits presentation, as well as all the things in option 2 and these additional things in option number 3. Okay, and that's the same amount of money as option number 1, 7% plus a $695 transaction fee, plus $995 that we collect today. Okay, and again, you can just, you know, the home staging DVD, 27 tips to selling your home faster and for top dollar, a free subscription to our investment newsletter on protecting your investment, buying investment properties with no money down. You get VIP access to all those properties. Okay, our area home sales report, and 50 home seller business cards that you can pass out to anyone that you choose. Okay, so it's basically double the amount of money as option number 2. And what you'll find is 20% of your customers will upgrade automatically. All right, we found it actually was about a third when we presented it that way. Let's look at Lynn's. We got Lynn Horner Baker and Chase, Horner Baker Partners Realtors, VIP seller options for listing and selling. And they did the same thing, but they broke theirs down into names like a silver, gold, and diamond. I would even go back in and create a platinum level if Lynn or Chase, or really for anybody watching this. I would say, yeah, we have gold, we have silver, gold, and diamond. And then off to the side, you can talk about platinum. And this is going to be really big, not just a little more money, but I mean like super expensive. All right, let me give you an example of that. Okay, let me find my information I want to share with you here. Okay, the Orvis catalog. You guys ever looked at the Orvis catalog? It features outdoor, casual apparel, winter coat, like me, like $66,000 fly fishing cruise for me and 27 of my friends in the same catalog. So you understand, if you're going to have one, Lynn, would be really big, okay, and really expensive. Okay, and you would be amazed at the people that will write you an extra $10,000 check for some goodies. Okay, and again, using the Orvis example, and again, this is really far out thinking, but something that some of you guys will do, and many people are doing now around the country. This is not anything new, okay? The Orvis guys, they're thinking, hey, we sell socks, we sell apparel, we sell some supplies, some fishing gear, okay? And then all of a sudden, how about a cruise? And they're like, well, a cruise? Yeah, a cruise. Let's sell a cruise. Matter of fact, how can we tie it into what we do? A fishing cruise. There you go. So anyway, yeah, we can definitely come up with this, what we do. All right, those of you guys that are in a distressed marketplace, coaching side as well. All right, I know a lot of people in California and Florida are using this exact same form, okay, where you break the work down, the extra services that you provide, you break it down into phases. This is about a 21-day phase, 21 days of work broken down into 3 phases. And at the completion of each phase, you collect $295 in order to move to the next phase. Okay, and so by the time you're done, you've got $900 in your pocket to cover the services and extra value that you have to offer. Yeah, and I know that most real estate agents are doing this stuff for zero, but we're better at what we do, and we're definitely better at communicating what we do than the other real estate agents out there. And you can provide performance guarantees and other things like, hey, yep, as a result of this agreement right here, Mr. Seller, we will guarantee you will be 100% released from your home mortgage, okay, within a month of the bank approving your short sale. And if not, I'll refund every bit of that money to you. Okay, so performance guarantee, again, the value exceeds what it is they're paying. All right, another good example, flexible sales commission exhibit. Some of you guys may haven't seen this one for a while, but this was huge. Seller says, well, look, I don't know, Todd. All I know is that I just need to get X for my house. Okay, $100,000. Okay, and we're going to take everything over $200,000 and keep it for ourselves, but no more than 7%, 8%, 9% of the total asking price. So in other words, you'll get your money first, and then we get ours. See, if you do business with another real estate agent, and we what's left over. Okay, so you're guaranteed your money. We think that's just a better way of doing business, don't you? Now, again, it's the same thing, but it's being presented a little bit differently, and this is a good example of creating value right out of thin air. Okay, and you can see one of my big conditions on that is that hey, look, we get to negotiate. So anyway, that's available on the coaching side as well, and you can pick your fee there. Now, some of you guys might have freaked out a little bit when I said we get everything over that net price that you want. The key being everything up to a certain amount of money. Okay, so net listings are illegal in most 100,000. Okay, so have you ever had anybody tell you, I don't care what you do, just get me X? Okay, no problem. If it works, it's a good win-win. Here's our VIP buyer agreement. Our fee of at least 3.5% of the purchase price we pay to our company by the seller. You agree to pay us $495, and we'll collect that today to get going. All right, so this is our part of our standard stuff. So many of you are getting a retainer or transaction fee or whatever you want to call it, access fee, VIP buyer access fee right up front from buyers. Okay, and your commission should exceed what's normal in your marketplace. Okay, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. I don't care. You know, whatever the marketplace will allow you to get. And feeling guilty about that is a sin. Okay, you're not supposed to feel guilty about anything. You let the market tell you what it will pay you. Okay, and you do a good job of providing value, and you'll get that. So everybody's familiar with that. All right, let's look at buyer premiums. All right. This is an email that I got from, who did I get this from? Lynn. And it says, I tested this on the MLS and on the modified Georgia Association of Realtor, that's a purchase and sell agreement, GAR, that we attach to our short sale listings, I have determined that it is better to have it pre-printed on the GAR form because having it in the private remarks created too many questions before the buyer decided to write the contract. So when it's part of the special steps section, it blends in better. I have less resistance per the discussion at the team leader dinner. In other words, we talked about this at our last breakout session at the Platinum Workshop in Atlanta. This was a big discussion that we had, buyer premiums. Okay, so she went in and changed it from a 0.5% to a flat fee of $695, to make sure that they're getting this house at the price that they want. So isn't that worth that $695 to make sure you're getting the home over anybody else? And here's a copy of the Georgia Association of Realtors Purchase and Sale Agreement, special stipulations that she has on her required addendums, required special stipulations for her listings. Right there, buyer shall pay $695 buyer processing fee at closing payable to Lynn's Real Estate Company. Let's look at Vinny Steos, right down here. Buyer agrees to pay a buyer processing fee of $695 payable to his RE/MAX brokerage at the time of settlement. I think Vinny gets 100% or 95% of all the income that comes in through the brokerage as an agent there. So anyway, buyer premiums are becoming more and more of a norm. So there's definitely something good coming out of this marketplace that we're in today, and that is the ability to do this. Okay, if the marketplace really hadn't so sure that much of these examples that you're looking at, mind to pull them off, that many real estate agents are just too comfortable. And this is the way it is with most small businesses. In order to grow a real estate business to 7 figures, 8 figures, and more, and you can do that with the real estate business. Craig Proctor's done it. Okay, you can do it, but you really have to have an insatiable appetite to do it. Right? That's the reason most small businesses never really get beyond $1 million. Okay, they just don't have to even reach 7-figure incomes. So congratulations to 1/3 of the Platinum members that do, and more on their way. Additional commission upon performance. How about that? Receive a higher commission should the seller receive a higher than asking price contract. For example, 7% is what you get on the seller's selling price, asking price, whatever. So you get 7% on the asking price, but you're going to get 20% on every dollar over that. And I believe we talked about this on one of our recent calls. Yeah, we did on the last Platinum Canadian member, less distressed market mastermind call that we had. We were talking about that. Okay, so just demonstrate your ability to get over the asking price, your track record for doing so, actual sales that you've done it, and testimonials, other people saying, yep, this guy's for real, look at how much more he got me for my house. Okay, and then you're in on being able to collect that. All right, now what about real estate investors? Okay, I was working, his name's Don DeRosa, big Georgia Real Estate Investors Association president, and let's look at some of the things he was able to share with me, as well as some of the other Platinum members that were doing this, and I learned from them. So it's like becoming a member of a complete turnkey system. So this will kind of get you in tune into all the things that we've talked about today, all rolled up into one sample program. You become a member of a network. Okay, and then here are the membership benefits. You get X, 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 and X, and X, and X, and X, and X. Access to our Dream Team affiliates, complete access to our tenant match program, permitted to use our property management system. You'll be able to purchase the ultimate rent-to-own system at a reduced price. Okay, here's our tenant match program. We got a big database of tenants who are looking to rent-to-own homes. we charge you $500 they rent, $1,500 to handle the entire sale. Okay, if they buy the home in the future. We match the tenants to your properties, okay? We find the property for you. We match the tenant for you. All you do is buy the house. Everything comes turnkey, Being a member of the Residential Investor Network entitles you to utilize our management program. Okay, it's only X number of dollars per month. Complete professional assistance, finding homes, assessing repairs, negotiating acquisition, contracting with all of our affiliates, all that good stuff, okay? Finding tenant purchasers. Here's what it costs to become a member. It's $497, okay? And it's $29.95 a month. Cancel at any time. Nope, we get paid by the seller on the home that you find. Okay, so the ultimate rent to own. So you get a home study course as a big bonus for doing this today. Okay, a $1,995 value or whatever you want to, whatever value you put on it. Here it is, over $3,000 value for all these things. Okay, so that kind of gives you a really good summary of a little example of a club, membership, ascension, and all the other things that we just talked about. So you know what? That is a lot of information on price elasticity. I know it is. Brain around this and look for ways in your business to increase your pricing, to increase the opportunities for additional money to be made, all from thin air and from the current prospects and clients that you have. It will change the course of your business, okay? Your business will become more valuable, and you will be more valuable because of the experience that you provide. See, that's the interesting thing about Disney World versus Six Flags. Okay? Cinderella in the castle, right there in the middle of Disney World, right up there in that little room. Only 20 people. Your family, okay, and 10 other families, 5 other families can have dinner with Cinderella right there in that castle. Okay? Tour guides, they would do group tour guides around Disney World and pull this in and make it work in your business. All right, so I want to make sure that, let's see what kind of issues or questions we have right here while we still got some time. Dana, you there? If you have a question, just utilize that GoToWebinar panel.
We have one question from Nathan Clark. He wants to know how you feel about, how about a 30-second on local TV commercial for 1 month and charge them $12.99?
$12.99, like $1,299, or
Yes.
$12? I'm going to say $1,299 for a commercial. I would absolutely offer up a commercial for their house, and whatever the production costs of the commercial are, you tack on your 15 or 20% contractor charge for it all. And look, if you don't offer it, I know what the answer is. Right there, that's all it costs. I thought commercials, like I heard people were paying $1 million for a Super Bowl commercial or more for like a 15-second spot there. So yeah, I mean, obviously that just makes sense, and it's good business to be able to pull those things off and do it. So I like it. I like it. Great job. Okay, let's make sure. Were there any other follow-up questions to that, Dana?
Yes, we have a question from Keller Lawrence. He says, is the pricing option page included in the PowerPoint or just with the listing agreement?
At the moment of decision, so with your listing paperwork. You pretend like you're selling freaking popcorn at the movie. The person says, hey, you're behind the cash register, and the person comes up and says, I want that popcorn there and that Coke. Okay, once you know they want you, then you say, okay, fantastic. Would you like X that could even be better than that? All right, so I think everybody gets the picture on it. Very good. All right, so what we're going to do is I want to make sure that this PowerPoint gets uploaded to the coaching site as well as this discussion and webinar on it, so you can run back through and copy some of the information. But it's been a great, I think, a great educational experience, and everybody understanding now this whole price elasticity, because this is it. There's only 3 ways to grow your real estate business. This is number 2. You want to increase the amount of money you make per transaction. There's all kinds of ways to do that. I've covered them, just about every one of them with you today. So it's always a fun time to do that. But that's going to wrap up about the amount of time that we have, especially for a webinar. If you have any follow-up questions that we didn't get to, then call me at 770-355-8010. That's my cell phone number. Okay, only you guys have my cell phone number, and Dana will attest to that. Only Platinum members have it, and my very close friends. That's it. Nobody else has it. 770-355-8010. You can call me and catch me anytime you need, or send me an email at tw@qlsystem.com. That's tw@qlsystem.com, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as I possibly can. So with that, I want to thank you for making time out of your very busy schedule to jump on this webinar and discuss the magic of price elasticity. That's going to do it for us today. Let's go sell some houses. And if you're going to sell big. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.